Good morning to you. Mark Sutton with HurricaneTrack.com here. A few minutes before 8 a.m. Eastern Time, I am in Panama City, Florida, awaiting Category 4 Hurricane Michael. I have set equipment up with my team, monitoring the hurricane's effects from Cedar Key over to St. Mark's, to East Point and Mexico Beach, Indian Pass, and now we are over in Panama City at the Hampton Inn with lots of media folks, a few evacuees, and other storm chasers, I guess you would say. And we are all nervously anticipating one hell of a day ahead. So let's take a look at what we have here. This is the Northwest Atlantic satellite shot. I wanted to show you this because it really illustrates the impact that this is going to have not only on this portion of the Florida Panhandle with a direct hit, but also these bands that are coming in to the Big Bend, Cedar Key, Tampa, and then this inflow all the way up here, loosely related to the large overall low pressure area associated with Michael into the South Carolina coast, up into North Carolina eventually. This is going to be a big problem for a large swath of real estate up here. I've been talking about this for several days, and now it is going to come to fruition. Just tonight, as this moves through, especially southwest Georgia, a bulk of this will happen at night through here. That is a terrifying time to have 80 to 90 mile per hour wind coming at you. The only good news here is that this will be making landfall during the day. For the Florida Panhandle, that can mean the difference between life and death for people who are trapped and need daylight to be able to see what they're doing. It's never a good thing to have to put it like that, but daytime's always preferred, and we're going to get that. So the latest from the National Hurricane Center here really sums it up, that Michael, potentially catastrophic. 10 miles per hour or so, 15 miles per hour under Category 5. The pressure is about as low as you will ever see with a landfalling hurricane. It's really difficult to get this kind of an intense hurricane to strike the United States, which is a good thing, obviously. So this is going to set records. I would expect, and I certainly hope, that Michael will begin to interact with land enough that we'll see the pressure come up a few millibars and maybe take a little bit of the edge off the wind here. But it is likely that it'll make landfall as a Category 4 in the Florida Panhandle, somewhere near Panama City Beach, etc. So, you got to just be ready for it. Don't do anything dumb. Use common sense. Don't be drinking and partying and carrying on. This is extremely dangerous, and you need to treat it as such. So arrival time of winds, just to kind of give you an idea, throughout the rest of the day here and the next couple of days. You can see the swath here, by this morning down along the Gulf Coast, which you would expect, and then later on today spreading into the interior parts of the southeast, and then by tomorrow morning up here into North Carolina. So this is going to spread tropical storm force winds or higher across an enormous stretch of real estate. So be ready for that. The U.S. rainfall potential, just want to show you this. A big concern, especially for people that are still recovering and dealing very much with the aftermath of Florence. A pretty big swath of 2 to 4 inches, and then a bullseye in there, anywhere from 4 to 6, and maybe even some 6 to 10 amounts up here along the border area of North Carolina and Virginia. Luckily, Michael will be moving fast enough that it won't have time to dump prolific amounts of rain, but rainfall will be a problem. Real quick, going back to the satellite here, let me go to Tropical Tidbits again and just pull up the Gulf, or the storm-centered satellite. I want to talk about when Michael is expected to make landfall. It looks like high tide is around 6 p.m. plus or minus local time here in the region where this is going to make landfall. So it should come in before high tide, but down here the tide is not that much more noticeable. It's not like there's a 4 or 5 foot range, but it'll be coming in between tides, maybe as the tide starts to come in, but not right at high tide is what it looks like. The landfall itself, somewhere up here in the vicinity of Panama City Beach, maybe points west, maybe points east, where the turn off to the north-northeast happens is critical. So be sure you use common sense and be ready for this. Hang on, I've got to respond. All right. People calling me, so bear with me. I've got it on mute, but I can see it. Please just be careful out there. We're going to do the same. We have cameras that are up. Hurricane Impact for Android, Hurricane Impact on the App Store. Everything's working great. We have the live weather data that I have been posting screenshots on Twitter from, and so you can follow along here, Hurricane Impact and by HurricaneTrack.com in the weather category on Google Play as well as on the App Store for an iPhone. I'm streaming live on YouTube as long as I possibly can, and we'll keep posting updates to Twitter and the app, of course, and then hopefully when the eye comes over, if we can do so safely, we intend to launch our weather balloon, Herbie, the Hurricane Research Balloon Payload, into the eye. That's going to be a monumental task, and I'll post more about that as we progress through the day. That is it from me for now. In Panama City, Florida, I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. You guys please stay safe out there. Use that common sense. We'll do the same, and we'll be with you as long as we can throughout the rest of the day.